What's up, everybody? This is Coach Daniel from Cortical Hoops, and today we're going to talk about how Louisville used the 1-3 and chase defense to shut down Brittney Griner. We're also going to be discussing some strategies on dealing with dominant players in the post, so let's get going. Have you ever been on the other end of a mismatch in the post? You try fronting, but your assignment simply locks you for a lob dunk. You try guarding them straight up, but you get buried deep in the paint. What are you supposed to do in these situations? In the 2013 NCAA Women's National Championship, Louisville upset the number 1 seeded juggernaut, the Baylor Bears, in the Sweet 16 en route to a national championship. Baylor looked unstoppable, winning 74 of their last 75 games and were the defending national champs, going 40-0 in the previous season. The Bears were led by none other than 6'8" phenom Brittney Griner, the most physically imposing women's basketball player of all time. She was a shot blocker and a legit dunker. When most players in women's D1 basketball are between 6'2 and 6'3, she seemed destined to lead her team to a second consecutive national championship. There hasn't been any other more glaring mismatches I've seen in college basketball in recent times. However, Louisville's coach Jeff Walz had other plans, and they would end up defeating Baylor 82-81. Griner scored 14 points off of 4 for 10 shooting, a major drop considering in her last 6 games she was averaging 33 points. But how did they do this? Let's take a look at how Walz's game plan shut down Brittney Griner. The 1-3 and chase. Now, I'm not a fan of junk defenses like the box and 1 or the triangle and 2, but this one was perfect specifically for dealing with Brittney's tendencies, and the elements it borrows from the matchup zone make the off-ball defense less predictable. So let's get into it. Louisville starts off showing an extended 2-3 zone or a 1-1-3 zone, while the post players shadow Griner's position on the floor. The lead guard picks up the ball and the second guard matches up with the first wing player. The lead guard is now responsible for the ball and the pass to the unguarded wing. If the ball is swung quickly to the weak side, the post has to show until one of the guards is able to recover. As you can imagine, this creates a lot of scrambles on the perimeter, but Louisville was willing to allow this because Griner's usage rating in the low post dominated Baylor's offense. Once the strong side is established, the strong side post instantly fronts Griner, while the middle of the zone guards Griner from behind. You might be wondering what this defense is giving up, and that's corner threes. As you can see from these clips, they just let them have them. Walz told his team before the game, playing like this would require Baylor to hit 10 to 15 threes to win, something he knew they could not do. If the ball is sent to the corner for an entry pass to Griner, however, the fronting post moves out to pressure the ball, the middle defender moves to the front, and the weak side covers the back. The weak side guard then has to plug the opposite corner and basically zone out the entire weak side of the floor. If Griner's on the high post, the guard on her side fronts, while the nearest post defender shadows behind. In these situations, the lead guard can no longer extend, so they have to drop in order to zone the rest of the perimeter players. However, Griner almost never touches the ball in the high post in this game, as she's much more comfortable in the low post. Another issue with this zone, however, is transition points, as so much of this defense is predicated off of setting up around Griner's position. Baylor was able to score in transition easily on long rebounds and turnovers with Jordan Madden and Odyssey Sims. To counter this, when possible, the Cardinals used a 3/4 1-2-2 zone. However, they didn't use it to trap, but as a token press to stifle transition. The back 2 defenders shadow Griner as soon as she enters the paint, and once the ball enters half court, they instantly front and back her. Now that this is covered, let's take a look at some individual strategies used by individual players during this game. Prior to the game, Coach Walz said his team needed to turn it into a street ball game. While this is true, there was a lot of other small adjustments going on as well. 1. Take away the feet. A lot of people feel that in guarding a taller player, you must make yourself as tall as possible to alter their shot. However, this is not the case. Where size has the biggest advantage is in the length of the legs to set up ideal position. Every time Griner caught the ball in the low post, the defenders closed in on her, taking away her feet and thus her ability to pivot or to put a move on them. This led to a lot of missed shots. Once Griner picked up her dribble, Louisville instantly would wall her off as vertical as possible.
Yeah, she's not had a whole lot of room when she's caught the basketball to try to overpower anybody.
2. Staying active while fronting. Antonita Slaughter is only 6'1" and is giving up a lot of size when she's fronting Griner. However, she remains moving, altering which angles she's covering the entry pass. This does a lot to the offense, as her activity and unpredictability makes the passer have to think twice before she makes an entry pass to Brittney Griner. 3. When she has deep position, foul, and foul hard. For one, This sets the tone for the game and lets Brittney Griner know right off the bat that she'll have to dig deep to see if she's willing to deal with this both mentally and physically. It's very exhausting working hard to catch the ball, fighting through double and sometimes triple coverage, and then when you catch the ball finally in good position, you get fouled hard. The other side of this is mental. Brittney had a history of losing her cool, and if Louisville could get into her head, she could lose focus or even pick up a technical. The team did a lot to get in her head. Shawnee Schimmel especially took it to the next level. A lot of people think it isn't ethically right and not real basketball, but it again goes to show how mental the game is. You must exploit whatever you can. Not just in the X's and O's, but in the psychology of your opponent. I commend Griner for keeping her cool and handling it with grace and maturity. Well, now you fouled and potentially gotten one of your players kicked out. Louisville by halftime had Schimmel and 6'2" Sarah Hammond in foul trouble. Schimmel, who was the star of the game and the heart and soul of the team, would ultimately foul out with over 4 minutes remaining. What do? Platoon and platoon effectively. Not only does this give Griner different defenders to deal with, they are fresher each time they come out. Given the fact that Griner will likely play almost every second of this game, makes this strategy very effective. To platoon effectively, you must get your reserves in early, so they are mentally focused and primed for the game. In playing like this, there's a good chance the stars will get into foul trouble, and it's a lot easier to depend on your reserves when they've had a few touches early on. Sharon Vallis, Courtney Walton, and Monique Reed all played solid minutes guarding Griner as well. When the reserves couldn't keep up with Griner, they knew to foul her. This could be seen as the Cardinals outfouled Baylor 24-14. Another reason you need your reserves playing is so they are ready should they have to finish the game. Despite this amazing game plan, the final possession had Baylor up 1. Monique Reed, a fifth-year walk-on, who was slightly injured and only playing at 50% capacity, had the ball in the open court. She attacked the rim hard and with conviction and was fouled. She would ultimately hit 2 clutch free throws to win the game. To execute a game plan like this, there's a lot of psychological components that are required. If you want us to make a video on that, please let us know in the comment section and I'll do one. Anyways guys, thanks for watching this video. I hope you can use some of these concepts the next time you feel like you're severely outmatched in the post. Please like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you on the next one.